the May polling from Gallup, top issues has been released. And what do you guys think the most important issue is? I'm not showing it right now. What do you think the most important issue is for the American people? Quick guesses. 10 seconds. What do you think?
Economic factors, and it's probably
No, wrong.
Cost of food.
Wrong.
I mean, is it an economic thing or is it immigration?
Neither. It's Joe Biden's failing brain. Bing, 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 bing. The top issue right now with 21% is government poor leadership.
You mean the people don't feel comfortable with a disabled man?
Look at this.
Holding on to the nuclear football?
Immigration has dropped from 27%, the single largest, into May at 18%. And this has pushed government poor leadership to the forefront as the single largest issue in the country. Ladies and gentlemen, listening, I would like to stress the single largest issue right now among voters, the plurality, is Joe Biden's brain don't work. There you go. Followed by immigration, the economy in general, and the high cost of living and inflation. And then we have poverty, hunger, and homelessness. Then the federal budget deficit. Then we have abortion, elections reform, unifying the country, ethics, moral, religious, family decline, foreign policy, foreign aid, focus overseas. And having learned this important fact, from now on, all segments of Timcast IRL will be Biden's brain is broken. Here's why. And then whatever subject you're talking about matters. Biden's brain is broken. And that's why we got to talk about Bitcoin. Because that's what people want to click on. They want to click on Biden's broken brain.
I don't know how much you guys looked at it, but the Time interview that came out today that was done at the end of May is fascinating for this reason. They point out the fact that, when asked about what's going on with China, he references Putin. When he's asked about something that's going on in South America, he starts referencing Africa. Like the state of Biden, and this is a private interview prearranged with Biden's press corps, right? Like it couldn't have been a safer environment for him to be interviewed. I think the Times is pretty sympathetic to him, and it's still not looking good. But I think it's interesting because when American people... when you guys were talking before, I pulled up this poll from Hamilton College that talked about or was measuring the amount of people that say that they're aware of politics, that they're engaged in the news. And it was highest, this poll is from 2022. So it was particularly high during COVID. I think a lot of people can explain why. There was a lot of uncertainty. People didn't know what was going on. They felt like they had to watch the news to get information. And I think with Biden's slipping leadership, both, the cognitive stumbles, the physical stumbles, but also just generally conflicting signaling on the international front, I think people are starting to say things are not going well, and their options are either to close their eyes and try to avoid the media at all and stick their heads in the sand, or to become really aware and kind of overthink what's going on in the U.S. for U.S. and especially in the Biden White House.
I mean, I think that's a great idea to focus on the brain broken, constantly, because that's such a natural human instinct to just, my leader can't function. I think it makes total sense that that's the top issue because people don't feel confident at all. So
it's wild to me that we have become such a gluttonous and successful nation that the issues that affect us now are unrelated to policy. The issues that we truly deeply care about are turning into cultural issues and not where's the food coming from. Now, don't get me wrong, where's the food coming from is a huge issue, but I'm saying man, we have fat homeless people. You know what I mean? We have truly conquered rather poorly, I might add, but man, just go back 100, 200 years and tell the people in this country and be like, people are going to be voting on for president? Cognitive function of the president. That's it. And they're going to be like, aren't people going to be worried? Well, I mean, it's all ancillary. If your president's broken, can you really solve the economic problems and all that stuff? But people are going to be complaining about all sorts of weird things in TV shows, movies, the words that are being used. And they're going to be like, how will you have time to do that when you are hungry and starving and winter is coming? And I go, no, we got refrigerators. We got preserved foods. We have trucks and planes that can transport food. You go to Barrow, Alaska, and they ship in food by plane. So there's no trees. They're in the Arctic Circle. No trees. Just frozen mud everywhere. And you can have sushi and cheeseburgers.
Didn't they hide Roosevelt's condition for a while?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And couldn't walk.
And I think that, in the past, there, I'm sure, have been many cases of presidents having, serious health issues, but there was so little media pointed at them and media was so different back then that it was way easier to have it not be a top issue.
Right, and I think not being able to walk, wasn't there a story about them like strapping him to a podium so he could stand during a speech, right? Like they would put the, whatever. Not being able to talk is very different than not being able to effectively communicate with the people. I mean, I don't know
stand?
how.
Not being able to stand is different
walk.
from.
Oh,
You said walk?
I think you meant walk. You said
I don't-
talk.
You said talk.
Yeah.
You said not being
I
able.
think Biden not being able to talk is a worse problem for them to have to deal with than someone not being able to walk or stand,
sure.
right?
Right,
Like,
right.
the physical ailment is serious, but it was more about like you expect your leader to be strong and doing all these things and do whatever. Like Biden falls off the bicycle. That is embarrassing. It is way worse to me that he can't remember which leader he's being asked about in a direct interview. I think that the cognitive ability is something you can't hide. And remember that he gets a clean bill of health every year from the White House doctor. I love when they put this out. I wait for it.
That's the
They
conspiracy.
delay putting it out for as long as possible. And then when it finally comes out, they don't even release it regularly. They won't release a PDF copy. Like you have to find the link and go for it. And they'll be like, oh, well, he's got some acid reflux, but other than that, he seems okay. Like, this is obviously a huge lie to the American people. And I think it is a strange position for the party that's saying, like, well, we release the White House visitor logs. We're really transparent. They're the ones that want all kinds of crazy things to also be the ones that won't confront the reality that something is clearly wrong.
Yeah, the issue though, I mean, so Tim, what do you think is the percentage likelihood that it's Biden and not somebody else that
for the nomination.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think there's a strong possibility it's not going to be Biden, even right now. I thought he was going to be out by March, but I wonder if they have no plan at all,
Yeah.
none, and
Because-
so they're just like the ship has crashed. Steal as much silverware as you can before the ship goes down, and then GTFO.
Because otherwise, it's such a easy strategy to just hammer on the brain broken. It's so clear.
Yeah,
People don't
this
feel
debate,
comfortable.
I'm so excited for this debate. It's going to be wild. We're probably going to be sitting here, and I'm just going to we got a popcorn machine now.
It'd be awesome.
I think we'll just make a bunch of popcorn, and we'll just watch. And normally we do the commentary thing, but nah, Biden's going to be like,
What's the date on that?
27th.
of June.
And then 2 days later, it's the fight. Conor McGregor, I think.
Sick.
Yeah.
I mean, so
I'm more
the
excited for
New
that.
Jersey primary is yesterday, and I think it's something like over 6% of the write-in vote was not Biden, right? And that's actually not a cognitive commentary. That's again a geopolitical that has to do with Hamas, Israel, and Palestine. But people either don't want him for ideological reasons, or they don't look at him and say, "We're confident you can make it." Like this is a very strange position for an incumbent president to be in, where people are saying like, you just don't make me feel safe, either because you can't talk or because I think you're going to send us to war.
Well, maybe the point of the criminal trials against Trump is to make sure he doesn't talk about real issues, so that he's constantly just going, "They're putting me in jail. It's not fair." And then regular Americans are like, "I don't care about this."
It also means the Biden administration can just be like, look at this guy, the convicted felon. Don't ask us any specific policy questions.
If Trump came out and said, "Here's what I'm going to do to help cover your bills. Here's what I'm going to do to make your gas cheaper," they're trying to lock me up because I have plans and they don't. That would work. But I think, his rallies are funny, but I wonder if, I'm not saying Trump's falling for it, but I wonder if their strategy is just make sure he doesn't talk about the issues Americans care about and are actually worried about.
Yeah, it's good for him to acknowledge the situation that he's in, but not fall too much into the victim nonstop mindset and just stay focused on actual issues.
And I think you could, I mean, again, I always think Trump should be on the offensive here. Like, I'm interested in the debate not because I think we'll have any, intelligent, nuanced conversation about policy, but I do think it would be interesting to see Trump be on the offensive and say, Biden, you have to explain why America is in the state that it's in right now. Why are we looking at conflict internationally on so many fronts? Why do people feel like there is no way out? They're sort of in an economic downward spiral because everything is so expensive. What's going on with our border? Why are you not being held accountable? Like, Trump has a lot of punches to throw in this respect, and if the moderator and Biden are able to say, well, you were just convicted in a trial, and Trump doesn't just push it aside and keep pushing on Biden's record, it's showing that there's definitely a way to distract him from the advantage that he could lean into.
Perhaps.
I I think that the best strategy that Trump has is just to continue to
What, the fight's off?
What?
UFC 303 is off?
What happened?
Oh, what?
No.
Really? Yeah, they removed 303.
Why?
Conor McGregor canceled press conference.
Oh.
Oh, that's not fun. Is the fight really getting canceled? Oh man, I will plots.
If
Let's
they
jump
send him to jail, he's gonna raise $1 billion.
Of course, yeah, but doesn't mean they won't send him to jail.
Thanks for watching this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to check out the live show Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. on this channel. Subscribe, and we'll see you all there.